Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. YUNGBLUD's new album, Weird, released last Friday, and I think it's a pretty cool album, but also the kind of album you might not like right away, depending on the kind of music you usually listen to. Now, it's important to note that I don't know who you are, I don't know what kind of background you come from, and it's not possible for me to give advice on how I get into YUNGBLUD from every possible background. Maybe you even already like YUNGBLUD and you're just here to talk about him for a while. So instead, I'm just going to talk about why I like YUNGBLUD, what artists he reminds me of, and what I think you should expect to get out of listening to him. Even if you don't end up liking YUNGBLUD, you might discover some new music along the way. To start off, I think it's important to consider YUNGBLUD's growing importance as a cultural icon. Like, look at some of the artists he's done collaborations with. He was on the new Bring Me the Horizon EP. He has collaborations with Black Bear, Halsey, Travis Barker, and might as well be Machine Gun Kelly's sidekick at this point. These are all hugely influential and popular artists right now, and even if you don't enjoy the music, you should at least acknowledge its cultural importance. Now to me, YUNGBLUD is really tapping into and merging three types of music most heavily. The first is pop punk, and while his music might not sound that close to the pop punk acts of yore, his demeanor is certainly very punk, and as I'll get to in a bit, his sound is actually a lot closer to 2000s emo pop than you might initially think. The second is modern Britpop. YUNGBLUD is a British artist and often sings with a thick British Cockney-style accent. And while the accent is the most salient aspect of Britpop, there are more traits in plain sight. For example, the song Mars opens with a lyrically dense delivery in a thick British accent that is made alluring by the way the stressed syllables and lyrics line up with the underlying rhythm of the music. And that is seriously the same trick that made the Arctic Monkeys famous with songs like Marty Bum and Fluorescent Adolescent. The title track, Weird, opens as a synth-pop ditty, and it could totally fit next to songs by the 1975 like Love It If We Made It or It's Not Living If It's Not With You. And the song Cotton Candy is also extremely Britpop. But let's talk about those emo pop traits I mentioned earlier. The same song, Weird, has a synth pop melody that's played after each of the choruses that's actually lifted directly from the song A Decade Under the Influence by Taking Back Sunday. Like seriously, listen to the synth melody and sing along, "To hell with you and all your friends, to hell with you and all your friends, it's on." And I don't think that's like a bad thing. I think it's just indicative of how influential Taking Back Sunday is on his sound. The influences don't stop there though. Love Song sounds a lot to me sonically like The Only Exception by Paramore. The instrumentation, song structure, tones, and really even like the timbre of YUNGBLUD's voice have a lot in common. And again, I don't think this is like a direct ripoff or anything. I just think that YUNGBLUD is drawing a lot of sensibilities from this kind of music. I think the influence is also apparent from the related artists. If you spend some time on YUNGBLUD's radio station on Spotify, you'll see some familiar emo pop acts, like All Time Low and Falling in Reverse. The bands from that era that are still making music share a lot of fans with YUNGBLUD. I could keep digging up connections, but I really want to touch on one more influence, and that's hyperpop. A couple of songs on the album seem to be aiming at being as aggressively pop as possible, and I think that's an attempt to capture the vibe of some hyperpop groups like 100 gecs or Charlie XCX. The song Super Dead Friends seriously sounds to me like if you took 100 gecs Money Machine and slammed it together with a Beastie Boys track. And because YUNGBLUD's sound is based in pop rock rather than electronics, a lot of songs also have a serious stadium rock sound to them. Seriously, the closing track, The Freak Show, is YUNGBLUD's attempt at making an anthemic pop rock banger that thousands of people will shout the lyrics to at every concert. And it's so theatrical and over the top that it seems to aspire to be a song like The Black Parade by MCR. So why do I like YUNGBLUD? Well, Jesus, man, mixing all that stuff is hard. YUNGBLUD is a very talented vocalist. He's got great tone, he hits powerful high notes, he yarls sometimes, he raps other times. And furthermore, he's exciting and stylish. He knows how to be a rock star, and he fulfills that same cultural niche that emo pop frontmen occupied 15 years ago. He's a bit dorky and whiny, and dorky, whiny teenagers love that about him. And behind him, he's got a talented group of musicians and engineers who are drawing from a wide range of influences and producing top quality pop tracks. And while I don't think he's a visionary artist or anything, I do think he has his finger firmly on the pulse of both Gen Z culture and the latest pop trends, and he's packaging all that together in a format that's palatable to the average listener. So how do you get into YUNGBLUD? Well, probably the same way you get into any catchy music. Go in with an open mind and the right expectations, listen a bit, watch the music videos, get accommodated to the sound, learn some lyrics, and sing along. It's kind of all there is to it. Alright, I think that's how you get into YUNGBLUD. I hope you'll give him a fresh listen, and also maybe some of the other artists I mentioned. If you're looking for more music recommendations from a wide range of genres, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.